I could just welcome everybody. If I could just ask people to mute yourselves, that would be great. I know it's terrible to be telling people to stay quiet, but if we can mute ourselves to start, that'd be brilliant, please.
So we got a few questions in over the last couple of days for tonight's support group meeting. And if anybody else has any questions that just spring to mind simultaneously tonight, whatever, just text them in the box and we'll read them out. Or if you would prefer to speak, just raise your hand or ask for or maybe text in and ask for. I think you can raise your hand. I think there's that option. Is there, Anna? Or yeah. And if you prefer to speak, if you prefer to ask me or Anna a question directly, then that option is available to you as well. All right.
Yeah, if you go to reactions, you can raise your hand. So on the bottom, you should have a little tab that says reactions, and if you go into that, you can raise your hand, and I'll see that as well. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Eric, we might kick off. There's kind of doesn't seem to be more people coming in there at the minute, so we'll get going, because we don't have to be. We'll get going, and if we get finished before 8, we get finished before 8. So yeah, well done to everybody for being here, and you're almost at the end of week 3. I cannot believe where the time is going. It's just flying, and I really, really hope you're all enjoying it. So I will pass you over to Eric. Do you want me to read out the questions, Eric, or have you got them?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, Anna. I think kind of have the gist of it here. So, so the first person that asked the question, they were just talking about these app or Android apps that give you a kind of a stopwatch, a time. They're like your own little personal coach on your phone. You can set the time for 2 minutes and to give you a 30 seconds rest, or let's say, the walking plan or the jogging plan that I gave everybody, where you walk for 3 minutes and then you jog for 1 minute and then walk again. You can actually set some of these apps up to actually work that time out for you. So after, it'll start, so it will beep at the start, and then when 3 minutes is up, it will beep again, and it will indicate that you've 1 minute now to start jogging, stuff like that. So these are cool little apps, right? And I use them as well. The one I use is called Interval Trainer. But the problem that the person has that asked the question is when they put their phone, they said when they put their phone on kind of off mode, or they want to turn it off and put it in their pocket and keep running or jogging, that it stops. The timer actually stops, so it doesn't operate on off mode. You have to kind of keep it continually in your hand. My timer is kind of the same. I use it for when I'm doing the boxing bags, or when I'm doing when I'm doing the mobility workouts with you guys. I have it on at 30 seconds or 25 seconds of action, 7 seconds of rest, because we do it twice a week. But I have to leave it there in front of me for it to work. If I press my phone off to off mode, that timer will stop as well. Now, here's the thing. I think you can definitely, there was a time where I used to get it. There was an app I used to get where I could turn off my phone and it would continually work and beep. But then it just disappeared. And I haven't seen it again. And I've been looking for it because I like using it for my exercise classes. Now, I think there is many of those apps that you can pay a premium price. And to be honest with you, I think they would work in off mode, but I don't think you need that. I don't think you're going to be that kind of stuck that you need to pay for an app that's going to give you a time. There's nothing better than an old-fashioned stopwatch. Just an ordinary stopwatch on your wrist. Press start, and just look at your watch. When the 3 minutes is up, you start jogging, jog for a minute, or whatever it is you decide to do. You know, old-fashioned stopwatch is perfect. All these apps and all that, some of them are great, honestly, but a lot of them are gimmicks as well, and they will try and get you to try. You know, there's a few of them that will try and get some money out of you. You know, so you know, we don't want to be spending money to try and get fit. You know, we can do that without having to fork out some money. So hopefully that answers that question, because that was the problem that the person had with the app that they were using. So I would recommend a good old-fashioned stopwatch. Or when you're doing your mobility workouts on your own in the house, then you can leave the app on the counter or on the table, and you can leave it on the on mode, if you know what I mean. I'm just going to give people a quick example here, right? So this is my phone, right? If you have me pinned up, I have my phone round there set for, let's say 7 seconds. And let's say here we'll just go with, I'm not going to go with the same. I'm going to just say, imagine we're starting, right? And we're going with 5 seconds for action, 7 seconds for rest. And I'll press start. And there you're gone off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it stops. Now I have 7 seconds rest. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it goes again. Now watch this. If I log out of my phone, that's stopped. You know what I mean? So if I want to put that in my pocket or press off, that bell, that timer will stop. I have to leave it open and unlocked and leave it on the counter for that to continue working like that. So if you're out jogging and if you're out running and you have that problem, then just best to get an old-fashioned stopwatch and work off that. So that's the first question. Do I move on to the next one, Anna?
Yes, please, Eric. Yep.
Okay, the next one then, this person was asking just about
changing around workouts.
Yes, changing around the workouts that this person can't get. I'm just going to read it out first. Hey Anna, just a quick question, possibly for the Thursday night. What would be advisable in terms of swapping workouts around? So Saturday was so bad here with the weather and the cold, and I spoke about this. This can be a problem for us, and the wet, and that I just took the Saturday as a rest and did the run on the Sunday. Well, I think that is bloody brilliant, right? Because first of all, you just said, do you know what? Saturday is just a write-off in terms of weather and bad. You know what? And tomorrow might be nice, so I'll swap it around. That's brilliant. That's fantastic. You're taking the initiative and you're deciding to, to change up the program. You're not going away from the program. You're just changing it up to suit you. That's what planning and organizing is. And I spoke about this, remember last week when we talked on group support about planning and organizing and taking the initiative, but you're not going away from the program. So that's okay. What else? There was something else there as well. Yeah, and just ask, is that okay? I decided to do another run today. Yeah. And then the forecast was so bad for the week that I decided to do another run today when it was fine. And we'll do the class tomorrow instead. I can't do them live in any case, so I will always be doing the recordings. I know Thursday and Saturday were a bit close together as rest days, but was wondering if you had any thoughts on swapping days around or any advice. Honestly, I just want everybody to get 2 days rest a week. How you get those 2 days is up to yourself. You got to turn up if you can for the live show with me on Monday and Friday. Nothing beats the live show. There's no show like a live show. But anyway, I know everybody can't make it, and that's okay. But if you can turn up for the 2 live shows and get 2 rest days in a week, and then do your 3 training sessions throughout the week at any time that suits you. Like the ideal time for me I would recommend it, or I would encourage everybody to try and stick to a 10 o'clock in the morning. Get up and get your breakfast around 8 o'clock, half 8, and get going at 10 o'clock. And if you can continue to do your 10 to 11, so that's your 1 hour in the morning. I know people can't do that to work and whatever, but it kind of sets you up for the day. It kind of gives you a good chance to be in a good headspace, good activity under your belt. It's almost like your healthy physical holistic outlet is achieved for the day, and then you go about your day and you're more proactive, you're more productive, and you tend to do really well throughout the day. But for everybody, I know that everybody's life is different, and everybody has very different roles and responsibilities, and kids, and homeschooling, and working, and it's so that's only an ideal scenario. But if you're getting out in the evening at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, whatever, it doesn't matter. Once you are ticking the boxes at the end of your week, now you got 2 mobility workouts with Eric, and you got 3 workouts on your own outside, and you got 2 rest days in, and that's okay. I would go as far as even saying, even if you had to do the mobility workout with me on a Monday morning and then had to do one of the walks on a Monday evening, that's okay as well. I'm not saying that you should be doing that all the time, because you want to get rest as well. You don't want to be overdoing it. But if for some example that Tuesday is a write-off for you, you're not going to get a chance on Tuesday. So Monday morning, do the workout with me, and get out there Monday evening and do your workout, half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever it is, whatever's on the plan, and try and get it in. And if you can't get it in, try and get something in. Try and get a half, even if it's half of that. That's it. So next one question is, I'm a medium build, good BMI. So BMI is body mass index. Some stage, once you have, at some stage on the weighing scales, I'm the same weight after 3 weeks of training. And combined exercise, routine of exercise, and good food. And is this normal? Because this person feels like they should be maybe have lost a little bit more weight. Maybe they should be in a different place now because they've done 3 weeks of hard training and good diet for 3 weeks. And the answer to that is no, it's not. It's not in any way unusual at all. Because you're the same weight, that does not mean that you are in a much more healthier position in your life. Like sometimes people will come to me after 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and they'll say, Eric, I'm still the same weight on the weighing scales. What's going on? And I'll say, well, how is your clothes fitting? Are they still tight? And they'd often say to me, no, my clothes are a little bit looser now, to be honest. And I say, well, you see, that's the thing. We are becoming more athletic. We're tightening up and we are building muscle. When you're out walking and running and you're doing mobility workouts, they're strength and conditioning workouts. So you're building muscle. You're burning fat, but you're building muscle. And muscle weighs heavier than fat. So sometimes people will stay the same weight, but they might drop down a jean size or a top size. They might start to tighten up and become more athletic, and that's okay. And we're gone away from this whole phase of size 6 and size 8 and this type of stuff. Years ago, there was all this big craze to be a certain size. It's not about size. It's about how you feel. How you feel is the most important thing. And if you feel good and you feel healthy and you know you're doing the right things and you're making the right steps, then that's the key. Everything else will fall into place. These life-changing kind of when we talked at the start of this program that we wanted to help people to kickstart their lives into a kickstart to a new healthier lifestyle, that's not by waving a magic wand and suddenly, you know, you're going to be, you know, you're going to be like losing 2 stone or 3 stone or stuff like that. That's not the case. That's not the case at all. It means that we're going to give you a kickstart into a new, healthier lifestyle, which means we're going to get you up and get you active and get a routine going in your life. And then the journey is, there is no destination. Life is a journey, and you can keep reaching put little targets out there for yourself. Like you can say, okay, well, after this operation transformation, I want to give myself, I'm not going to give up on myself. I'm going to keep this going, and I'm going to keep going to maybe I'm going to do 3 sessions a week just to kind of keep it going. At the moment we're doing 5. So I'm going to keep 3 training sessions up a week, you know. And over time, once you make that part of your lifestyle, your life will start to change in every way, physically, mentally, working, socially, emotionally. Every other area of your life starts to improve. There is no such thing as I'm going to work for 6 weeks and I'm going to get whatever I desire, and then I stop for what? And then you go straight back to where you were in the first place. So with physical activity and with a healthy lifestyle, you have to make this you make these new appointments in your life. And these are 2 or 3 appointments every single week. And I talk about these appointments. They might be walking, running, a yoga, meditation, circuit training, whatever it is. It's different for everybody. And you make sure that these are non-negotiable, that these are dates that are the most important thing for you, that you have to follow and you have to commit to. And don't get me wrong, we can all have a week off, take a week's holidays, but that doesn't mean you take 6 weeks off. It means take a week off, but then get back to your normal thing. Take 2 weeks off, you know, throughout the year, but always try and have physical activity or some healthy, holistic outlet make it part of your lifestyle. Okay, so the next question is the sit-ups where I do the heel touch, where your hands are touching the backs of your heels when you're lying on the ground. This person finds that they can't really reach. I couldn't reach, and I was trying very hard. Now I am thin as well, so the question is how to achieve this. And maybe there is a little bit of tummy fat as well. I'm wondering, is that the problem? That's what this person is asking. To be honest, no, that's not a problem at all. And with the heels situation, when you're in the sit-up position and your feet are flat and your legs are bent, I'm asking you to try and reach the back of your heels, but maybe your heels are pushed too far away from you. So bring your heels into your backside. Bring your feet into your backside and keep them close to your backside, and then you should be able to reach them easy enough. And even with your hands down by your side. And even if you can't, all the goal is to get that crunch, to get the contraction with the abdominal muscles. So feel the crunch, feel the tightness in your stomach around your belly button, feel the tightness there, and relax. Back up, shoulders off the ground, feel the tightness, hold it for a split second, and relax. And just continue doing that movement until you feel the burn across your midsection, across your abdominal area. Feel the burn. Once you start feeling the burn, you know that it's good. It's good news. You're working something, okay? So the next one is, next question is, during the lockdown, you know, the sessions with Eric, they're very positive. This person is loving the sessions, the live sessions, and sometimes they have a busy day and they're not able to make the live session, basically. They're not able to make the live session. but they have to do the recorded session. Now, I understand that the recording session it doesn't have the same energy. I know that. I understand that. It doesn't have, that's why I say there's no show like a live show. Or, there's an old saying, do you remember the Joe Dolan, no show like a Joe show? So, but anyway, this person said, they can lack motivation when they're not on the live stream, when they're just playing the recording one. They can lack motivation, and it's not the same energy, it's not the same vibe, and it can be an attack on your mind and body, because you don't really, especially after long days of work, you don't really feel like doing it. And is there an answer to all of this, to overcome this? And this is what I spoke about the last day. I spoke about it's easy to do things when it's convenient for us, okay? But what separates the successful people from, let's say, the people who are not achieving their targets, are those people who do it when it's not convenient for them, okay? So when the weather is bad, when their body is sore, when they're not feeling good, when all of the conditions are not perfect, they still do it, because they know that the only way I can get to my goals or get to my targets is I have to do this. And if I don't do this, then I'm going to end up self-sabotaging again and beating myself up and going into a rut. And then I'm going to also be developing habits that I don't really want. We want to create good, healthy habits, and we keep doing things until we love it. There's times where I absolutely hate the Muhammad Ali quote is absolutely amazing. I love this quote from Muhammad Ali. He says, I hated every minute of training, but I said, suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. And I just think that's it's a really cool quote. I'm not telling you have to go to that extreme lengths or anything like that, but just know this. Some days will be good and some days will be perfect, and the conditions are great and the sun is shining and we've loads of time and we've no responsibilities. We've all of our deadlines and all of our targets in work reached and everything is good. And maybe even someone has taken the children out of your hands. Your husband or your wife has taken the kids for an hour or 2 hours, and you have this time to yourself. And then you could go and you can exercise freely without any distractions, and everything is great. But that's not always going to be the case. So what we have to do is we have to find a way. And I can't sprinkle motivational dust on you. I just cannot do that. I wish I could, but we have, someone said to me, I was speaking to and listen, everybody has this problem. Everybody has this problem. This is not, it's not a unique situation here. I speak to football teams and hurling teams, and I speak to elite athletes. And there was one particular hurling team that I spoke to in Wicklow a couple of months back, and actually, it was just before the first lockdown last year. And one guy says to me, he says, Eric, how do I get motivation to train? And I said, can you be a little bit more? Can you be a bit more? Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? And he said, well, I do work a long day, right? And I come home and I sit down and I have my dinner, and then I have a cup of tea and a couple of biscuits, and I sit down on the couch and I'm so comfortable and I'm feeling great and I'm just so relaxed. And then I look at my watch on my phone and I know that I have to get up to go hurling training with the team, and I have no motivation. How do I get that motivation? And I said to him, I'm a champion boxer, right? And I want to be the best. And all I can say to you is, if you think I am motivated for every training session, then, you know, you've another, you're like, you know, if you think that I'm motivated for every training session, then it couldn't be further from the truth, because I'm not motivated for every training session. I'm just not. But I do it because I know I have to do it. It's like work. You're not motivated for work every day, are you? If you are, then Jesus, let me know where I can apply for your job. Um, Not like, sometimes we just have to go. We have to go to work because that's what we do. And it's like with with health and fitness and goals and reaching goals and targets, that's the same thing. We just have to go. And when we go and we do it, 99% of the time, we're delighted we done it. We're actually really happy we done it. So that's where, you know, that's just my little theory on motivation. I don't think the best in the world, even Olympic athletes, are motivated for every training session. In fact, I know they're not. But there's just a deep burning desire inside them that they know that this is what they have to do if they want to get to where they want to get to. And that's it. It's simple. Okay, so we move along. This is another part here. I think it's question down 4. Okay, so a person is saying that, like, you know, on the first week during the mountain climber had no energy, and then 3 weeks later, you know, doing the mountain climber exercise, they're feeling really fit and feeling good, and that's fantastic, because that shows that you are building up your cardiovascular system and you're getting fit and you're building up the energy system and your stamina. But there is a part of the question that this person said that when they had to do press-ups after the mountain climber, that their arms were so weak because they were holding themselves up already doing the mountain climber. So have I any idea, any tips or ideas on how to build up that upper body strength? And yes, I have indeed. So press ups is one, which is one of the best body weight exercises that we can do. Chin ups is another really hard exercise. I think it's one of the hardest free body weight exercise out there, chin ups. But it's hard to do chin ups now because we don't really have chin up bars in the home, in the house. So I would say the tricep dips, like on the chair. Do you remember when we have our hands on the chair and we do the tricep dips? So anything that you have to push against, or anything that there's resistance against with your upper body. So you can be lifting like dumbbells, kettlebells, pulling them up, or press ups, which are pushing, and the tricep dips, which are pushing. These kind of exercise help to build up upper body strength. So yeah, just keep working. Again, it's one of those things that, you know, it doesn't happen overnight, but you're after saying that there's been huge improvements from week 1 to week 3 with your mountain climbers and everything. So that's good. Well done on that, and keep up the good work. And, you know, the only way is up. Do you want to take a question or two, Anna?
Well, I think that's all you have on the sheet, is it, Eric?
Oh, is it? Sorry, I wasn't minding.
I think that's the last one you have. Oh no, there's one more at the bottom. Yeah, so this person's asking, do we have any tips for emotional eating? So yeah, I can take this one, Eric. I enjoy exercising, but struggle more with eating healthy. I find sometimes I'm doing well, but then if I get stressed at all, I turn to junk food, mainly chocolate. Any tips on how to break this habit? So this is really common. I'll start off to say, like, you're definitely not alone with this. And so just so you know, you're definitely not alone with this. And sugar is, you know, it's kind of the go-to, what a lot of us reach for, and what most people reach for when they emotionally eat. And it is a bit of a habit that needs to be broken. You know, it's kind of a cycle you need to break. But I suppose the tips I would give is to start to identify your triggers. So what is it that triggers you in this time to reach for that sugary food? So start becoming a little bit more self-aware of what your triggers are, and what you do reach for then. And when you identify your triggers, then try and implement a different strategy. So if your strategy at the minute is to reach for the chocolate or the sugary foods, try and implement a different strategy, such as breathing. So your breath is something everybody has. Everyone has it. It's there. It's accessible all the time, all the time. And there's a really simple thing you can do. It's called square breathing. And you basically use the square that, say, is your laptop screen or a window or a door or anything that's kind of that kind of shape. And you basically breathe in, up one side, out the other, across, breathe in, coming down, out, coming across. And you just kind of follow around your screen nice and slowly. And even if you did that 3 or 4 times, before you reach, as you're going for that sugary food, as you're feeling that stress, you've identified, okay, I'm starting to feel a bit stressed, go to your breath. Go to your breath, breathe right down into your stomach, long deep breaths right down into your stomach, in for a count of 4, out for a count of 6. So that's it, like a very simple strategy. It does take time. You do have to educate yourself to almost do it. But it's kind of a practice you build over time. But it's I suppose in a way it's mindfulness, very, very simple mindfulness, rather than saying, oh, I need to learn how to be mindful or learn how to meditate. You don't. You know, your breath is there all the time. It's there to be used all the time. So, you know, that's one, what I would think is, you know, the sugar cycle is something that needs to be broken. Sugar is highly, highly addictive, and it triggers the reward systems in your brain. So if you're stressed and your body's feeling under pressure, then it knows that if it goes to that sugar, then I'll feel good for a little bit of time. I'll feel good then because it's given me that feel good hormones, that reward hormones it feeds out. So another way could be find something else that rewards you. Go for a 10-minute walk. Open the door, go out and walk outside the garden. You don't have to go anywhere. Do a few laps around the house, you know, a few laps around the garden. Again, it's identifying that trigger. Okay, I'm starting to feel a bit stressed. I'm starting to think about sugar. I'm starting to think about chocolate. Break that habit, break that cycle. Breathe, go for a walk, you know, pick up the phone and call a friend for 10 minutes. Anything that kind of breaks that cycle. But I do think a big part of it is identifying where that you're getting stressed. You don't even have to know where it's coming from. Just identify that it's there. And I'm big into, it's something I've sort of been teaching myself over the last couple of years on my own journey, is self-awareness. So, you know, being self-aware of my moods when I'm down and think, okay, why am I feeling like this? Why am I feeling stressed? And I try to rationalize through these things a lot. So I do think, and it takes time, you do need to work at it, but I do think it's something really, really worth working at. And when I coach people, it's something I recommend to nearly every client, is to become a little bit more self-aware. So yeah, so that's, I hope that helps. If it is a thing that you still need to eat, try and find something not sugary. So, or even go for something like an apple. Try and, you know, if you still think, okay, but I still need to eat something, an apple or a kiwi or a little mandarin or something. So, okay, maybe, you know, so you've still had something, but it's not the sugar and the really sugary stuff. So I hope those tips help. Yeah, so that's the last question on that one. I hope that helps. There is one more now that's come in on the chat, and I'm actually going to give it to you, Eric, because it says, any good stretches for doing after workouts for both back, lower back and upper back. Sometimes have a lot of pain in my back after exercise, not with no known back problems.
Yes, there is plenty of exercises and stretching exercises that you can do for lower back and upper back. I could probably demonstrate some of them tomorrow morning if you want, but just off the top of my head here, if you're standing in your normal neutral position, standing up tall, well, I say tall, but then bend your legs just slightly. join your hands together, push your hands away from you, the backs of your hands, not your palms, the backs, and you get a nice stretch between your shoulder blades. So you push away, you push your shoulders out, you feel that stretch between your shoulder blades, and you hold it there. You hold it for 10 seconds, slowly, slowly, and you relax. Another one which is very good is you get onto all fours on your hands and knees on the ground. So you get onto all fours on your hands and knees, then you push your belly towards the ground. So it's almost like you're arching your back downwards. Then you push your back. You only do this for a few seconds. Then you push your back up to the ceiling like a cat would stretch. Do you ever see a cat and how they raise their back? So if you're on your hands and knees and you raise your back and you push it up and you hold it and breathe for another 10 seconds, and then you relax. And then you continually doing that as well. But there's a couple more that I can demonstrate tomorrow in tomorrow's class. I'll just make note of that tonight. I just want to touch on what Anna was talking about, and I thought she spoke very well and answered the question brilliantly as well. But that question just really struck a chord with me. Emotional eating, comfort eating, as much as food can be our best friend, it can be our worst enemy. Just like fire. Fire can keep us warm, but it can also burn us. It can be our good best friend, worst enemy. It is important for us to be able to kind of make sure that we don't overdo it. And as Anna said, you kind of have to get to the root of why you're excessively eating, because it's not about the food. It's not about the food. It's like the person that indulges in alcohol, or a person that is, using drugs. And, these are all forms of abuse and sabotage and self-sabotage and self-destructing. And some people may not even see that or be aware of it. And Anna mentioned being self-aware. Being aware, to talk about now how, EI over IQ. So our emotional intelligence is very important. And to be able to be aware of what is it going on for us in, why are we eating here excessively? It might be covering up something. We're masking taping over something. It's like the person that drinks alcohol to just de-stress, but then they wake up the next morning and the stress is back. So it's only a temporary release. And the stress is not only back, it's amplified. The stress is back, but I'm depressed as well. And I'm hungover. And then I'm, and it's all add-ons and add-ons and add-ons. When in actual fact, what we need to do is we need to be able to be kind and compassionate to ourselves, and to find ways, like, there's nothing, as Anna said, ring in someone for a chat. Now, you don't just ring anybody, there's probably, like, we all probably have that 2 or 3 people in our lives. If you have 2 or 3, you're very lucky, but even if you have one close friend that you can offload with, that you can actually ring up and just say, hey, look, this is how I'm feeling today. I feel like shit, I had a bad day at work, or family issue, or someone said something to me, and I just want to offload. I just want to run it by you. Am I making too much out of this or whatever? Because it's really affecting me, and just a good, honest, heart to heart with another human being, someone you trust, can alleviate a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety. And you feel good. I have a couple of friends that I'm able to speak openly and honestly with. And now I have other friends that would run a million miles if I started talking to them about emotions and stuff like that. So you kind of have to choose wisely who you speak to, okay? So, alleviating that pressure off yourself, because sometimes we can regress. We use food to comfort. We use drink to comfort. Try not to use, try look to more holistic, outlets, like meditation, like Pilates, like yoga, like, as Anna said, a walk, a talk with somebody on the phone, and that's it. And these are just, but it was a question that I wanted to kind of just throw in my tuppence worth as well, because I think it was a great question, Annie. You know what I mean? It's a great,
Yeah, it really was a great question.
yeah, and it's one that I think affects everybody.
Yeah,
Everybody.
Yeah, I think the answer is, you know, both. I think it's a question that a lot of people will be appreciative that it was asked, and that the answer was yeah, definitely. It's and that's why I said it's so common. Like, it's so common, and don't ever feel like you're alone in that. You know, it's very, very common. Yeah. So yeah.
So,
okay. Eric, I just had actually one other question that came in during the week, and it might be just something you can touch on in the morning. Somebody came into me during the week to say they cannot do tricep dips. So if you could give an alternative for tricep dips. So I don't know if you want to do that now, or maybe give an alternative in the morning.
Maybe this person isn't like, there's a very modified version of tricep dips, which is like when you put your hands on the chair, and then you take your backside off the chair, right? So say you're sitting on the chair, hands on either side, then you take your backside off it. This person probably has their feet away in the distance, and now there's too much pressure on their upper body. But if you just sit down on the chair like you normally would, and your feet are bent and your feet are flat on the floor, then just hold each side of the chair with your hands and take your backside off the chair, move your feet out only a couple of inches forward. Then your feet is almost like you're scaffolding underneath you, and you can bend down easy and come up. And I think then that will be a little more manageable for you, because you're using your legs as well. But when you take your legs away and push them out, that's the most advanced version of tricep dips. So I will demonstrate it again tomorrow. But if, for example, you just cannot do it, don't worry. Do you know what I mean? We can't do everything. We just can't do everything. So don't worry about it. It's not going to affect you. You can just do something else. Like, you can lift weights or dumbbells, or do your press ups or something like that. It's okay. Or you can lean against a wall forward and just lean into the wall with your chest and push yourself back out. It's like a standing push-up. You're like, say this is the wall, this is you. Your feet are here. You lean into the wall, push yourself out. Lean in, push yourself out. So it's more of a standing. It's a less pressure on you, and less, more manageable and more modified. But anyway, yeah, don't worry. Is there anybody that would like to ask a question from, on the meeting, like, yourself, without typing? You okay?
See, I'm just going to point, maybe even if
I think Sarah has her hand up.
Oh.
Hi.
Hi, Sarah.
So my name is Sarah.
Yeah.
I just want to say I've been enjoying the exercise. It's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a little bit of a problem because my feet and my balance, and I have an issue with my heart as well. So it's kind of difficult to do some of the exercise and balance.
Mm-hmm.
So would you have any? So I can stand no problem, but my feet are, it's just a little bit, I just feel like I go a little bit all over the place. So, and sometimes I feel like I'm going to fall over, and especially when I'm standing on one leg, and there's some exercises we do on one leg.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to use the wall to help me to support me.
Yeah. I think that's okay, Sarah. Honestly, I think if you're using the wall, that's okay. And there's plenty of people that would use, countertops, or like when I'm in the gym and I'd be doing these exercises with some of my class members, and they might even hold each other. They might put one hand on each other's shoulder and they're doing some stretching or whatever, but that's okay. And just in, if you happen to fall down, that's okay too. I never worry about people falling down. I only worry about people that don't get back up, so make sure you get back up when you fall. Okay.
Again, I might just say, even having a chair you know, that if you even want to put a hand on a chair when they're doing maybe a one-legged exercise, or, you know, don't be afraid to use the wall, use a chair. And I think Eric and I would always say, just do what you're able to do. You know, if it's too much, just walk on the spot, just keep moving, you know, but do what you're able to do. Is really, really important.
Yeah, it's also important to remember the first week I talked about having your safety exercise. You know, everybody is allowed to have a safety exercise, 1 or 2 or whatever suits. And the safety exercise might be just like, as Anna said, jogging on the spot or jumping jacks. So if we're all doing a very difficult, awkward balance workout or balance exercise that you find difficult, that's when you pull your card, your safety exercise card out of your back pocket, and you just go straight away. You don't have to wait for anybody. You just do your safety exercise at your own time, at your own convenience. And when we're doing something that's back more in line with your ability, then join us again. And that's it. And we continue on.
Brilliant. Is Sarah...
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you, Sarah.
I think she has another question as well.
Oh,
okay.
Fire away.
It was funny. I was just about to say if anybody wanted to.
She's just talking about the running now. So I'm running every Tuesday and Thursday evening, and she's sorry, it's just the interpreter didn't catch the finger spelling. So she can do well running.
Yeah.
And she's training for the running. That's fine, but I have an issue with my heart. If I go over 100 beats per minute or over a certain distance, I'll have to stop. Or if I go over 300 meters or 400 meters, it's a bit, if you have to keep stopping every couple of 100 meters or so.
Is that when she's running or walking? Can you ask her?
Yeah, so that's when she's running. So she has to stop and she has to keep stopping and then going and stopping and going in intervals.
So I get the impression that she wants to run. She wants to run more, but unfortunately, the condition she has with her heart, it affects her so much that she has to stop and walk. Yeah, I mean, that's something
difficult. She's just saying that it's quite difficult to do.
It is very difficult.
And she has more, sorry to say. So 5 km, she wants to try and achieve that, and she can run that, but she keeps having to add on time then because she has to keep stopping and changing. She hates it, but she doesn't know how to solve that.
Yeah. Can you ask her, is she running fast?
So I've been trying to run fast. She finds it easier then.
Well.
So running fast, it's easier, but then running slow over longer distance, it's more difficult.
It's more difficult. Okay, all right, yeah, because I was going to talk about bringing it right down into a very slow jog. That would, I know when you're slowly jogging, the heart rate doesn't beat as fast as it would normally. But she said that that's more difficult for her. I don't know in what way is it difficult? Is it because she doesn't like it, or is it because it's actually difficult, it's hard? Or is it because she really wants to run fast?
Yeah, sure. I want to be able to. I'd like to run fast. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, because of the condition that she has, her body doesn't allow her to do that. But let's not get disheartened. Let's not get disheartened, and let's try and look at it from a positive point of view, and to say that, look, at least you can get out, you can move, you can walk, you can maybe jog at a very low pace. And as frustrating as that is, because I know you want to let go, it's like you're like a rocket that's just been held back. You want to go. But that's a good attitude to have. And if you can apply that attitude to different areas of your life, I think that you can go very, very far. It's just that you have to be mindful of the heart condition that you have, and to kind of take good care of that. It doesn't mean you're going to have, it doesn't mean, it might just mean you're going to have to slow down. That's all. But in other areas, keep up that attitude, that mentality, and apply that to other areas of your life. And I think you have a very good ingredient there for success.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah. That's great. And yeah, I was actually just about to say before Sarah came on, if anybody wants to sign to Katrina, please feel free, because that worked really well. So brilliant. Yeah, so that's all the questions we have in the chat box. So if there is anyone else would like to, as like that, either raise your hand and speak, or sign, either is perfect. I would just like to say to Sarah, just to, just be careful as well, that like, she needs to, as Eric said, just be mindful of her heart condition, but don't let it stop her, but be mindful that, I have to be cautious as well of people looking after their health during this as well. So, okay, so Eric, have you anything else you'd like to add? I think that's been a really good session tonight. I think we've got some really good questions.
No, just thanks for coming on. And yes, just in relation to Sarah again, this is kind of like, it's kind of like I'm talking from a practical point of view about what you're presenting with and how it's affecting you. So I'm trying to give you alternative options. But it is a serious issue because it's got to do with your heart. So it would be good to run it by your GP.
Mm.
And to just know that, can your GP offer you any alternatives or assistance? But stick with us anyway and keep working and doing what you can do. Thanks to everybody for joining on. I think the questions were great tonight, and I just want to say, how much I'm enjoying working with you all and training with you all, and I very much feel invested in this operation, this operation transformation, this whole project, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm loving the energy that's coming back from everybody. It's a wonderful thing. It's great, and thanks to Anna and to Katrina for all of their assistance with this program so far, and to you guys. We are well over halfway point. We are almost 3 weeks after tomorrow morning. 2 days left, and then we're at the end of 3 weeks. So we go into our final fortnight very, very soon. So look, keep it up, the same effort, the same participation and perseveration, and keep on keeping on, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you all for your feedback. I love it. Like it's great. I know I don't get to respond back to every single email, but they don't go unnoticed. So please do. The feedback is brilliant, and it's great to know we're having a positive impact on people's lives. That's what it's all about. So have a great rest of your night, and we will see you again in the morning for some sweat.
Thank you.
Take care. Thanks. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Long, guys.
See you in the morning, Sarah's just saying.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for interacting with us.